Madden football is the home of the Super Bowl. And this historic matchup is brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Dolphins and the reigning NFC champs. Coming up next.
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Tonight, it's all on the line. We play for the Lombardi Trophy, as it'll be the AFC champion Miami Dolphins taking on the NFC champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Brandon Gaudin along with Charles Davis, and what a season it's been for our AFC champions. And this was a fight just to get to the Super Bowl. You got to figure that they are very battle-tested and ready.
I'd agree with you 100% about that. You don't get there without having those types of attributes, and that's what you look for in a Super Bowl team. Character, confidence. These guys don't lack for either one of those. Now they're here. Now they're ready to win.
Meanwhile, our NFC champions, they have gone through a lot to get where they are. Everybody knows their story this season. What's the key for them as they start this Super Bowl?
Let's go full cliche on this one because it works. Remember what got you here. Been a winning formula all season long. This is a team that when we saw them in the preseason, we said they look like a group that has what it takes to be a Super Bowl winning team. And we've been proven right by what we've seen throughout the season.
Second down, back to Sanders. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. It's a 4-yard pickup there, and it leaves him with 3rd and 5.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
They go play action with Hurts. And that's complete. It's Chris Godwin. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. Not only a fumble loss there, but a fumble lost on your first drive in your own territory.
Now you're dealing with a lot of stuff here because you feel bad going off the field because you gave up the football. How does your own defense feel now having to go out there and stop them when the momentum is clearly shifted in their favor?
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. After the fumble recovery, it's Jackson. Steps away. From the left side, it's complete. Touchdown, Dolphins. A great effort there. 31 yards. And the Dolphins are on the board first here in this Super Bowl. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And it's now a 7-0 game.
Eagles, nothing. Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They trail early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10. They start on the ground here at Sanders. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll fake the give to Sanders, and now Hurts. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. They will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. What a moment for him, a pick 6 in the Super Bowl. You think about some of the big pick 6s over the history of this huge game. I remember, because I was watching with a lot of Colts fans, Tracy Porter picking Peyton Manning to get the Saints' first title.
Yeah, that would pretty much seal the deal for New Orleans as well. But I got to go back a ways because, you know, unfortunately I'm considerably older. Herb Adderley, the Green Bay Packers, got it all started. The first pick 6, Super Bowl II against the Oakland Raiders, and some of the better ones that were out there. You might remember Dwight Smith of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers had 2 in one game when they won their Super Bowl championship against Rich Gannon in Oakland. You mentioned Tracy Porter already. How about James Harrison to the Steelers? You remember that one? 100 yards right before the half ended? That was a big-time play. But for me, the absolute classic, Willie Brown in slow motion against the Vikings for the Raiders. The grand old man, Willie Brown, 75 yards.
You recall them all, and what a play here. Another pick six in the Super Bowl. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. So you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit, and find our way back into this game.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Hurts sets up to throw it. This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Picked off around the 37. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Brings up 2nd and 4. At the Eagles.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Now a handoff looking right. Trying to turn the corner, but they string him out and stop him at the line of scrimmage. Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. Flush to his right. Oh, this is going to be caught along the sidelines. Probably shouldn't have been caught. He's going to lose yardage there. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down. Jason Sanders now for the Miami field goal from the right hash, and this one just a chipping. The kick by Sanders is good. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. They trail early on in this Super Bowl as they come up 1st and 10. On 1st down, Sanders not finding a whole lot as he'll get forward for about 3.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Play action. Here's Hurts. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Isaiah Simmons able to get in there and run him down for what's going to be a loss of 15 yards all told. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. Here's Hurts to throw. And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Jalen Phillips, he's the one to get him this time, and back-to-back sacks brings up 4th down. Here's A.J. Cole now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. And he'll take it on this side of midfield. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be Dolphin football. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals, as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. From the gun, he'll hand this off. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
He's brought down at his 37-yard line.
17-0 our score after 1.
Dolphins 17, Eagles nothing.
Working with 2nd and 5 now. Here's Jackson. Flushed out right. Here's Fuller with a catch. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 14.
That is definitely what we call on defense an uh-oh play. And what you mean by that is against Lamar Jackson, when you see him out of the pocket, your first thought is, uh-oh, he's going to try and run it. How do I get to him and get him on the ground? And guess what?
And this throw will be intercepted. Tre'Davious White with a pick. There he goes, right side. He's at the 30, 10, and he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Eagles defense gets a pick-6 TD. Well, dare I say it, it's kind of quid pro quo. Both defenses now with an interception return for a touchdown.
Your vocabulary, sir. Well done.
Elliott good with a PAT, and the lead is trimmed down to 10.
Dolphins 17, Eagles 7.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick-6, and now the kick is away. This is taken just shy of the 10, and a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And following the pick-6, and they have decent field position in throwing that pick-6. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. They'll drop this underneath to Pollard. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
Jackson's throw is taken in by Waddle. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
I know that no game in the NFL is ever easy, but they're making it look that way. Everything is being done with such precision. Just on this drive alone, 3 plays, 3 first downs. If you're on defense, you're scrambling, looking at each other, trying to figure out how are we going to slow these guys down.
A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run. But for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
On 2nd and 7, Jackson. This one complete to Mecole Hardman. Well, that's now 4 completions in a row. A good bounce back following the interception last drive.
Certainly not letting it affect him, that's for sure. And we all know interceptions are going to happen. So the big trick, don't let it affect you going forward. Most of the good quarterbacks, they just tell the ball boy, get that one out of the rotation, give me a fresh ball, and let's go. He's got his offense moving again.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be second down. 2 minutes on the clock in the second quarter of this Super Bowl. Looking to throw again on second down. Jackson. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And the Dolphins are going to have a first and goal coming up as the tackle made at the 3-yard line. Again, Jackson escaping the pressure right. That is caught by Waddle. Touchdown, Miami. The 3-yard touchdown pass. And the Dolphins continue to look good here in the first half of this Super Bowl. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17.
Eagles 7. Jason Sanders to kick off for Miami.
Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
25-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. It was still more than a minute to go in the half. Time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity.
Looking here for Smith downfield. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Javon Holland. And the Dolphins are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. And, Charles, you know, it seems like sometimes when you fall down early, there can be a tendency there to try and get it all back in one fell swoop. And that time, that thinking leads to an interception.
And I believe you brought up a really good point there, Brandon, because you try and force plays, right? You try and get all back in one shot, just as you mentioned there. And you know you're going to need some big plays to get back into the game. But ultimately, you really can't force what isn't there.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
Oftentimes when you're losing a game and the team's still throwing with this kind of a lead, you start playing a little more physically. And they took that opportunity right there to be extremely physical and force that incompletion.
Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Derwin James with a pick. There he goes left side. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Eagles defense gets a pick-six TD. You think you're going into halftime with a good-sized lead? Not so fast. That pick-six really changes the complexion, probably also changes the halftime speech.
No doubt about it. Instead of going in relaxed, you're probably a little more uptight right now, probably a little bit angry. Let's see if they can get their focus back.
Elliott good on the extra point, and the lead is trimmed down to 10. So we've come upon halftime in the big one, the Super Bowl. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Okay, Coach, thanks as always to you and the gang in Orlando as we welcome everyone back in for quarter number 3. These two teams sat through a longer than usual 30-minute wait, but we're back in action here in this Super Bowl. From the 10. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And I would imagine this is where you have to take stock of the situation, CD, and say, gosh, we're halfway to the Lombardi Trophy. Let's not slow down now.
And I like the way you went there. Let's not slow down now, because the first half certainly went their way. And I would expect them to continue with that type of a game plan. But you're right. You do think back to Super Bowl 54. 49ers had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter, couldn't hold on. So plenty can still happen.
From the 36, Jackson eluding the pressure right. On the run, he'll let it go deep, right sideline. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. He was looking for Jalen Waddle there, and it's third and short. Now Jackson. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Jackson on first down. Looking downfield, and that's caught right side. He's got his man. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A great play there. His second touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Dolphins are feeling good as they extend their lead in this Super Bowl. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing, and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Hurts. And that will be incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on third down.
Here's A.J. Cole now as he'll kick it away for the second time. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and possession will switch hands, first and 10. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a second and 10. Jackson. And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's third down.
Well, so far in this drive, they've done some good work. They force incompletions on first and second down, bring up 3rd and 10. That brings up the big question. Do they bring pressure or do they play coverage on this down?
And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
They'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Throwing is Hurts. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. Isaiah Simmons picking it off. And the Dolphins will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Second and 12 at the 43-yard line.
Now it's Jackson. Throw right side going to be caught by Hardman. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
Flash the stick skills on that run, but then stop shy of the 35. Working with a 2nd and 3.
A 7-yard pickup brings up 2nd.
Jackson now off the bootleg. They'll roll him out right. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he has another 1st down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 19.
1st and 10 at the 19-yard line.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. Oh, and for the 3rd time, Jackson going to be intercepted. Tre'Davious White with a pick. And the Eagles are going to have it here at their own 9-yard line. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
And once again, the Dolphin defense holds firm as they'll stop him behind the line of scrimmage. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now back to throw. That is caught. It's Chris Godwin. And he makes it all the way down to the 31. So how about this for a change in field position? From inside the 10, here's 1st down on the other side of the field. This is Smith with a grab. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. They'll run with Sanders. And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4. Now another timeout called for by the offense. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Second and goal from inside the 5. They'll look to throw. And my goodness, another interception. Isaiah Simmons picking it off. And the Dolphins are going to get the football back as time will run out in this third quarter of play.